What's up everyone, my name's Matt from Body Temper University, and this is a 5-video series outlining hopefully everything you want to know about the Body Temper University Pro System. This is video 1 in the series, and this is going to give you a quick backstory on the Pro System, how it came to be, and how it's developed from where it once was. So we'll start back in February of 2019. I had talked to Donnie Thompson online. Donnie is the founder of Body Tempering, and we paid to fly him up here to Bondurant, Iowa, where we live just outside of Des Moines, to learn a little bit about body tempering. It was not a certification, it was just a workshop. He came up, we had about 30 people show up, and we talked about tempering and lifting. I was sold on body tempering. I flew down to South Carolina, April of 2012, and I got certified. I came back and I spent about a year and a half just trial and erroring, dabbling, a little bit of body tempering here or there. My full-time job, my wife and I run a gym here in town, so strength and conditioning, personal training. So body tempering fit alongside that really well. Clients would come in, oh, my trap's tight, you know, I had a bad lift the other day, or it's been a really bad week at work, my body's stiff, I have muscle tension. So we introduced body tempering as we learned in the certification in like 5-10 minute doses. Hey, if my trap's tight, I target temper the trap. Hey, I have some issues going on with my knee. I would throttle the tendons. I would do a little bit of IT band work, but it was very spot scenario, spot specific. I would do 5 to 10 minutes of tempering pre, during, or post session with someone, and they'd be on their way. Fast forward to about October of 2020. So like I said, about a year and a half after I got certified, and I had a client who was a little beat up, and they asked, hey, can we body temper today instead of training? Well, we had a 45-minute session on the books, and I said, well, yeah, sure, but I don't know if I can fill 45 minutes with all tempering. And she said, that's fine, we can just try. So we did some tempering on the IT bands, a little bit on the glutes and the hamstrings, and the next day she said, I can't believe how open and loose my hips feel. My low back, I just feel like I can move freely. And we ended up scheduling weekly body tempering appointments. 2 days a week was training on the floor, doing our strength training, and 1 day a week was body tempering. And that made a shift in my mind. It's like, okay, I first was introduced to body tempering as just very spot-specific work. Here's how you address one area of the body in maybe a 5-minute, 10-minute scenario, and then you're on your way. A very clinical application. Well, this client encouraged me to think of it in a service scenario. Well, we personal train and we body temper. So from October of 2020 through December, I opened up my books, my schedule on Tuesday afternoons and Friday mornings. I said, hey, I'm offering 30, 45, and 60-minute body tempering sessions. And I filled my books by the second week. And for about 3 months straight, I was body tempering in session format, similar to personal training, 2 days a week. Well, some of the people I worked with, some of the personal trainers, some of the clients, they're like, hey, this is really cool. I would like to work with you. And I saw body tempering taking off. I knew that this would expand and grow. So we removed it out of the gym. It was no longer a service you paid for at the gym. And we opened Body Temper Iowa. We separated this room out. This is a studio within the gym. And Body Temper Iowa became a full-service body tempering business. And still, to my knowledge, the first one ever in the world. The first full-service body tempering specific studio. So like I said, some of the people I worked with and some of the clients, they said, hey, is there any way I could learn how to temper and temper with you? Like, I would love to learn more about this, have an extra revenue stream. What's my next step? So my wife and I sat down and we decided, you know, if people are going to body temper with us, they need to catch up to where we're at. Julie and I had been doing this for a while, but people needed to catch up and learn. We needed to fill the gap from April 2019 when I got certified to December of 2020. There was a lot of learning that occurred in that almost 2-year period, year and a half. So we sat down and put together an internship. Everything you would need to know to catch you up to where I was currently operating. And it consisted of 4 parts. Part number one was 10 hours of shadowing. I grew up in a strength and conditioning environment in a collegiate setting, and my most valuable things I still recall on today was shadowing. Sitting in the weight room, wasn't allowed to talk. I was just fly on the wall, sat there and observed. 10 hours of shadowing in the studio, just watching me or me or Julie or somebody work. From there, you had to get certified. Certification is like a 9-10 hour process. It's a one day. The BTC was formerly an in-person. Now it's online as well. But you had to get certified. Number 3, you had to go through a 10-hour hands-on course with me. We got a small group of people together, and you spend time going through individual 30-minute structured templates. Like I said, you come out of the certification with a very clinical understanding of how do I do this safely and temper one part of the body. And it's like, here's a piece, 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 almost like ingredients. And what I wanted to help people understand is how do you put it into a recipe? How do you make this flow to where it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way through a seamless 30-minute transition. So after that, you have 10 hours of a hands-on class with me, and then you did 10 hours of practice. And in this 10 hours of practice, I set people up with practice clients and people that I knew, and it was a chance for them to get great feedback from clients, and I could also pick clients' brains and provide feedback to our practitioners. And by the end of that 40-hour internship, we had 12 people who Julie and I deemed cleared to work under our business name, under our entity, and under our insurance. So if somebody called in and said, hey, I would love to do a body tempering session, I could say, all right, cool, you're working with Jevin today, or you're working with Amy, or you're working with Sarah, or Tabitha, or TJ, and we could kind of set people up. Well, that business, it started out and went great. We were doing awesome and posting videos on Instagram, sharing content, and inevitably people started asking questions. Hey Matt, I'm watching what you guys are doing with Body Temper Iowa. I would like to do the same thing in my gym. How do you set up your pricing? How do you set up your payouts to your practitioners? How do you market? Do you have an accountant? What about legal? Did you set up an LLC? What does your intake look like? How do you decide what content to post? And how do you structure sessions? What if someone comes in? I have somebody who came in and their Achilles is really bothering them and it's messing up their running gait, or when they do snatch, they can't lock out one arm, and all these questions. And I thought, you know what? Body Temper Iowa was initially supposed to be a service business, and it's quickly turning into an education business. And we need to do this justice. We need to get all this stuff organized so people can learn appropriately. So that's how Body Temper University was created. During this whole process, Tabitha and her husband Ron, Tabitha practiced out of Body Temper Iowa. She went back to her hometown and duplicated and did almost a mirror image of Body Temper Iowa in her hometown with a place called the Body Spot. She added her own flair, her own spice into the mix. She had 3 ladies get certified, and then she ran her own little internship with everyone with the shadowing and the practice, and it took off. And you may have heard the saying, if you do something once, it could be luck. If you do it twice, you're onto something. And if you can duplicate it into a third time, then you've found something. We started moving into that area where this internship process, if you will, it really got people prepared. It bridged the gap from BTC clinical approach, a practitioner, to a professional service offering. It filled that void. And Body Temper University, now our goal is to turn people from practitioner into professional. The Pro system has some slight tweaks from what we did with our own personal businesses, mostly because we don't have 40 hours with you guys, and we had to learn how to compress this into a day. So the Pro system is intended for people who want to do a more professional offering of body tempering. Like I said, this is video 1 of 5 in this Pro system series. Video 2, I'll get into outlining what the Pro system is. There's 3 different components, a manual, a virtual, and an in-person. Video 2 will briefly cover those and how we built out this curriculum so it's suitable for you, someone in your own hometown, your own home state. And then videos 3, 4, and 5 go into deeper detail on what's the manual package option, our $500 manual and consult. what's the virtual option where you can be labeled a BTC Pro, qualifying for the affiliate program if you're familiar with that, the $1,000 virtual option, and then our full-scale hands-on in-person workshop, which is $1,700, which includes the manual, the consultation, the virtual, and a day of immersing yourself with fellow practitioners, tools in your hands, tools on bodies, as a whole complete program. So if you have more questions on body tempering as a whole, you can visit bodytempering.com. If you're not already here, on our website, bodytemperuniversity.com, and you can follow into videos 2 through 5 for more info on the Pro System.